Lisa Connors, Acting Director for the FCPD Media Relations Bureau. Thank you for attending our briefing this afternoon and for following us on Facebook Live. 3 Fairfax County Public School employees are facing charges. To provide information about the investigation, joining us today is Police Chief Colonel Edwin C. Rossler Jr., Major Ed O'Carroll, who is Commander of the Major Crimes Bureau, and Marty Smith, who is Chief Operating Officer for Fairfax County Public Schools. And we'll start with the Chief. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Today we are informing our community of 2 former Fairfax County Public School employees who have been charged with assaulting nonverbal children with intellectual disabilities, and 1 current Fairfax County Public School employee charged with failure to report those violations. When these offenses were reported to the Fairfax County Public Schools and the Fairfax County Police Department, the school leadership took swift actions to remove 2 of the suspects from the school environment and eventually separated them from employment while the Fairfax County Police Department continued its criminal investigation. The detectives assigned to this case, along with the Office of the Commonwealth Attorney and a grand jury, have ensured justice will be delivered to the victims and their families. The Police Department's Victim Services section continues to provide support to the victims and their families as this continues the journey in the justice system. I'm going to turn it over next to Chief Operating Officer Marty Smith for a statement for the Fairfax County Public Schools, and then Major Ed O'Carroll from the Police Department's Major Crimes Bureau will then provide details of the investigation to date. Mr. Smith.
Good afternoon. I want to begin by saying that it's profoundly difficult to be here today to address these disturbing allegations of abuse involving our staff and students. There's no greater responsibility of a school system than the safety and well-being of our students. And the result of this tragic situation, we have learned that we need to do more. We are deeply saddened by this situation and resolve to do all we can to support our students, their families, and others who have been impacted by these events. And while the investigation is still underway, we are committed to doing all we can to prevent similar acts from occurring in the future. FCPS employees are designated as mandatory reporters of abuse to Child Protective Services by regulation, and it is a misdemeanor not to report. Teachers and staff reviewed content regarding this regulation at staff in-service trainings last month, and online training modules are to be completed by the end of this month. FCPS was made aware of these allegations in September and took immediate steps to address the situation, including those staff members who were identified were immediately removed from the school and placed on leave for the duration of the investigation. Our Human Resources team immediately began an administrative investigation concurrently with the criminal investigation. Experienced special education teachers were assigned to the classroom to replace those on leave and to provide support and instruction to students. Our families were contacted regarding the staffing changes, and additional supports will continue to be available for students and staff. We want to thank the police department detectives, victim services staff, and others who investigated this situation with great professionalism and sensitivity. We encourage all students, volunteers, and community members who have knowledge or information about possible concerns at other schools to come forward and share them with police or trusted adults whenever these situations arise. And at this point, this remains an active investigation, and we are cooperating with the police in any way we can. And we know that together, we will continue to work to ensure that our students are learning in a safe environment where they feel a high degree of trust with the teachers and staff who serve them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Fairfax County Public Safety Headquarters. For those watching, following us online, welcome as well. As introduced, I'm Major Ed O'Carroll, and I serve as the commander of the Major Crimes Bureau of the Fairfax County Police Department. This case is shocking, unacceptable conduct by community members who are in a position of trust. caring for the most vulnerable members of our society, children in an elementary school setting, children with intellectual disabilities. After a several-month complex criminal investigation by members of the police department's Major Crimes Bureau Child Abuse Squad, I announce that 2 former Fairfax County School employees have today been indicted with assaulting nonverbal children with intellectual disabilities. And these offenses occurred between April and September of 2019. Another Fairfax County Public School employee, the former principal of Freedom Hill Elementary School, has been indicted with failure to report. So this morning, a total of 18 counts have been handed down by a grand jury. All these assaults took place at the Freedom Hill Elementary School, which is located in Vienna, Virginia. Detectives from the Major Crimes Bureau began their investigation in mid-September when a concerned teacher did the right thing. The teacher observed bruising on a student and contacted school administration and Child Protective Services. Our detectives immediately conducted interviews and examined all relevant evidence that was available. Detectives believe that 6 children were assaulted by staff members who provided direct instruction and support in the classroom. The abuse ranged from assault and battery to cruelty and injuries to children. This morning, all the evidence in the case was presented to a Fairfax County grand jury who have indicted Samir Gustav, 48 of Herndon, with 1 felony count of cruelty and injuries to children and 3 misdemeanor counts of assault and battery. Also, Cecilia Benavides, 59 of Alexandria, was indicted on 1 felony count of cruelty and injuries to children and 12 counts of misdemeanor assault and battery. In addition, our detectives found that complaints of suspected abuse was reported to the previous principal of Freedom Hill Elementary School, Scott Bloom, during his tenure as principal during the 2018 to 2019 school year. However, unfortunately, very sadly, those complaints were not subsequently reported to Child Protective Services or law enforcement that's required by law. This led to an additional indictment of Mr. Bloom for failure to report. Mr. Bloom is 39 and of the Reston area of Virginia. Of note and a point of clarity, the current Freedom Hill Elementary School principal and the school administration did report the concerns once they were made aware of in mid-September. And the school administration has been fully cooperative with our detectives from the Major Crimes Bureau. Specialists from the Victim Services Division of the Police Department have been assigned to all the families and all the victims to ensure that they receive the appropriate resources and assistance. I do want to thank our talented detectives and the victim service specialists who have worked tirelessly on this case, working for justice for the victims. Although the indictments validate the investigative work to date, the facts of this case are truly heartbreaking. Staff put aside their shock and disappointment in the actions of people that were in the care of these special elementary school students and focused on the criminal investigation that they were charged with. And the facts of the case led to those indictments today. So on behalf of the police department, we do ask anyone who ever witnesses the kind of criminal behavior towards anyone, especially as outlined in a case like this, who assault community members that are nonverbal or have special needs, to call 911 immediately. If you suspect someone you know has been the victim of a crime, or you know someone who has committed such a crime, please contact your local law enforcement agency. If you live in Fairfax County, the Major Crimes Bureau can be reached at 703-246-7800. Tips can also be submitted anonymously through the Fairfax County Crime Cell.